Yeah, no, I think it's definitely a fan casting. I think, honestly, I've seen more people try to make an argument for Daniel Radcliffe to come in as Wolverine.
I've seen that too.
Or Taron Egerton as well from Kingsman.
I don't know if I see that one.
I see that less than both of those two, but I definitely see Daniel Radcliffe, I think, could probably pull it off.
I don't see that.
You don't think so? I think he could. I mean, with the right direction.
He's too young of a face.
I mean, but he's old. He's older than us.
It's like the face though. Like he's a very young face. That's a compliment to him. He has a very young face.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, I have a very young face. He has a very young face as well.
It would be a younger Wolverine most likely, but
that doesn't work.
But
I feel like Wolverine's always the same age.
Yes, that's also true. He's kind of like been. He's
like perpetually like
1800s.
42 or something.
Yeah, I get that.
Like he always looks that way.
Yeah.
Like I feel like you never see a young Wolverine outside of in the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. I guess I haven't.
He was a kid
about that way, but which is also kind of funny. They're all British, besides the guy who actually plays them, which is Australian, right? But
yeah, I think so.
Yeah, interesting. There's a lot of Brits right now in the American cinema, which is not a bad thing. I don't think that's bad at all, but I think it's interesting because you'll be watching people and be like, oh, you know, they have a decent American accent, and then they go on interviews and you're like, oh, I didn't realize they were British.
All the time.
But anyways, that's a side tangent, but
no, you're good.
So we get to the montage of Wolverine. You know, we obviously meet him. They bring him back, make some more jokes and some more funny time. But then we get to the Void. I love the jokes of the Void being the wasteland from Mad Max. I think those are hilarious.
I will say this is probably the moment where my first like gripe with the film does come in.
Really?
Yeah, only because I think when you're a part of the audience and not a part of the team making the film, you get to kind of criticize these films as a whole amongst all the other superhero films that stack up against it. And there is something to be said about the countless number of Marvel movies that end up with a huge like desolate like wasteland kind of area that we fight in, and we shoot our laser beams and fly around, and it's like, yeah, I know that's kind of like a thing in comics for sure, but there like let's not get it twisted. There are definitely some really crazy set piece places that are in comic books that like we don't always get to see in these movies, you know. And I know, like, you know, like a lot of that has to do with production value that might not be there, budget that might not be there, stuff like that, or just maybe the vision wasn't there for it to begin with. But it does kind of make me a bit sad when I do see a superhero movie and I do see yet again another kind of big wasteland of a place, and like this one is kind of written into the story. I don't think that necessarily makes it better, right? You know, because it's like you could just write a different setting, right? But I get it though. You know, it's the Void. You know, it's a wasteland where things go to die or be there forever or whatever. The Void. Yeah. I get it, but I just wish that we could have had a you know, more flashier set piece. It just, all it does is it just it gives you more cases to make your film have that moment or those moments where people can step back and go, wow, I would have never gotten that anywhere else, you know. But I can't say that about its main setting, because I can say I can go see a wasteland, a bunch of superheroes fighting in a wasteland in the Eternals movie, or I could see that in
they did, kind of. I said they did kind of.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying I can go. Like I can. Okay. Yeah, like I'm saying you have a lot of instances of saying something similar. Same thing with like Ant-Man and the Wasp. If I had a wasteland in that, not that visually different. No. You know, like you can say that for a lot of other superhero movies. But yeah, no, we can keep going. But I just wanted to point that out. That was my first real like gripe, and it did not take away from my enjoyment of the film at all. Yeah, you know, you still enjoy the film. I feel like people that have gripes like that and they're just sitting there, you know, with a perpetual frown on their face,
like that one guy,
that one guy
sat next to.
Yeah, that guy your friend sat next to. Yeah, I think those people need a bit more happiness in their life, because like it ain't that deep, man. Right.
Um, yeah. Back on track to the comedy with him mentioning Mad Max stuff. I thought it was funny. I think it's also just a kind of appropriate because, you know, we just had Furiosa come out. So that made me just kind of think of that movie during that time and just kind of compare both and how fun I had with both, viewing both.
I liked that too. I think the joke was funny. My only issue though then still comes, like, at least for me, like at that point I'm still in that headspace of like,